We are finally here. The very last season of Barney and Friends, and probably the least favorite season in terms of the people from the Barney community, season 14. We got a good chunk of things to talk about. Will this season will be a good finale to the series, or will it end on a sour note just like BJ and his pickles? Let's find out. The filming of the season took place from December 14th, 2009 to January 29th, 2010. The newly revised theme and a couple of the music videos were filmed at the Celebration Park in Allen, Texas, while other parts, including the joke segments and a few of the music videos, were filmed at the Hit Entertainment Studio in Carrollton, Texas. As for the kids who appeared in the opening intro, the joke segments, and the music videos, well, most of them, if not all of them, are uncredited. However, some of the kids that appeared in those videos that we know are Ethan Van Zandeth, Delaney Walker, Elizabeth Cole, the sister of Deborah Cole, Brandon Stanton, Jaden Roberts, which those guys are going to be Travis and Maddie in A Very Merry Christmas, and of course, Logan Robot Glatton, who was the drummer in the music videos Rock Like a Monkey and Boogie Woogie Piggy. He will go on to be in great events such as Chuck E. Cheese, for instance. Oh yeah, by the way, there's also a prototype logo for the season before the logo was changed. I'm just mentioning it just to point that out. In terms of the music videos, I think my favorite music videos are I Hear Music Everywhere, Find the Numbers in Your House, Rock Like a Monkey, and of course, Boogie Woogie Piggy. I mean, this song slaps, in my opinion. How can you not love it? As for the episodes themselves, they are the same episodes from both seasons 10 and 11. Those episodes have been repackaged, and it was the only season to do so. Anyway, despite Connecticut Public Television and the LYONS Group produced the episodes, they were removed from the end credits due to the fact that the show was produced solely by Hit Entertainment, which does make sense around the later time period of the show. Despite those episodes are produced in 4:3, the guys at Hit simply altered the black bars by using the 16:9 widescreen format, as the rainbow colored borders are shown around in all the episodes. And at the beginning of each episode, the title cards pop up presenting them on screen. Despite the season contains repackaged episodes from the previous seasons, it was listed as a separate season apart from the franchise, unlike previous seasons where it was just produced in just 1 month. Since there is nothing much else to say about the episodes, there is one aspect on some of them, and that is the alternate endings. Episodes such as Winter, Welcome Cousin Riff, Things That I Can Do, and Airplanes all have the famous I Love You song sung instead of A Friend Like You, and those are really interesting alternate endings. I really wish that they would do the same thing for the other episodes who has the alternate endings. And it's a shame too, because most of the season 10 alternate endings are kind of obscure and never see the light of day, as I said a couple of times before. I said this before, and I'm saying it again. If you remember those alternate endings, if you're from the United States or the United Kingdom, please find them. It will be much appreciated in terms of Lost Barney media. And please make sure that they're captured rather than recording in front of a TV. In international territories, when they air season 14, they omitted the joke segments, but they retained the music videos. Also, some countries use the audio from season 7 through 14 rather than using the one made exclusively for this season. Barney and Friends season 14 is the only season that didn't air on PBS Kids Sprout. Unlike the first 13 seasons, they've been broadcasted for 10 years, from 2005 until 2015. The same thing can be said for Universal Kids, and as a result, it is the only season to air on PBS to not be on any television network. As this was the only season to air on PBS in the US, the international territories got the 4:3 aspect ratio as opposed to the 16:9 widescreen format. Season 14 aired from October 4th to November 2nd, 2010, and it didn't have any home media releases for obvious reasons. However, the season got a chance to be on streaming services such as Karaoke, sorry if I butchered the name, Filmrise, Tubu, the Roku channel, and Netflix until that and season 13 were removed in late April. Barney and Friends continued to air in reruns despite the PBS Kids website was removed sometime later, and then in August 31st, 2016, after 24 years of airing on PBS, the broadcasting rights to the series has been expired nationwide across PBS stations. This means that seasons 1 through 14 are no longer airing on PBS television anymore, and that really gutted me when I heard about this a few years ago. But I'll always remember the good times of the show from the late 2000s until the early 2010s, and hopefully, recordings of every era of the show will be found. Or, if Barney's World is a success, then they could make box sets out of these 14 seasons and make sure to include the segments in between if they got permission from PBS, Connecticut Public Television, and WNET New York to do so, and once again, find a distribution company to produce those box sets. Fun fact, Barney and Friends was intended to last until 2013. However, it was on hiatus and ended up in 2010. And at this point, Apex Partners, owners of Hit, were looking to sell the company, but Barney and Friends as a series wasn't profitable as it had in years prior, and focused their efforts onto Thomas and Friends. On October 24th, 2011, Mattel bought out Hit Entertainment for $680 million, and then, a few years later, Nine Story Media announced a long-term partnership with Hit Entertainment to distribute preschool shows such as Barney and Angelina Ballerina, as well as relaunching both properties for a reboot and scheduled to debut in 2017, but production of it never occurred. If you wanted to learn about this, check out Tea Riffic Tributes about this subject. Link will be provided in the description below. After a couple of years in terms of making and getting a Barney reboot right off the ground, a CG animated reboot of Barney, which will become Barney's World, was announced in February of 2023, and the series was released on October 14th on Max and Cartoon Network's preschool block Cartoonito in October 18th. At the time I'm making this video, Barney's World had already aired on Cartoon Network and streamed on Max, so I hope that the series will be well received, and maybe they could have a lot of opportunities with more classic Barney, or even both sides of that matter. Anyway, what do I think of Barney and Friends Season 14? I think it is kinda average, and it's possibly the weakest season out of all of the seasons that we have went through. It may be a bit lazy of them by recycling seasons 10 and 11 episodes, but at the same time, I remember seeing those alternate endings and the interstitials. So at the very least, those are the saving graces of the season, in my opinion. It's a little disappointing that Barney and Friends has to end on a weak note. And it is a total miss, folks. This shouldn't be the finale that Barney and Friends deserved. I suggest that you should go back to season 13 again and probably the home videos from the early to mid 2010s. One of them are much better finales than this season. This is a season that I would not watch that often, although I could watch the remix theme song and interstitials on repeat all day. So for that, I'm going to give season 14 a 4 out of 10. Well, that's it, folks. We finally got through the Barney and Friends TV series, from where Barney was a smash hit, then became a phenomenon. Then the series was facing increased competition, switching up the format, and this is where the series had come to an end. Barney and Friends ran from April 6, 1992 until November 2nd, 2010, for over 14 seasons and 268 episodes. That felt like a complete show to review, isn't it? Barney and Friends always endear to my heart, not only for the educational and entertainment elements, but also for its wonderful characters, music, and its charm. Barney has inspired generations of children by using their imaginations, being good and respectable people, and unconditional love. And Barney had taught me so much throughout my life because without that show, my life would have been so depressed and just don't know what to do in life. As Barney and Friends as a series relies on the hit era international prints on streaming nowadays, we'll have to remember the good times that we have with the show, no matter what era that you grew up with. Anyway, that is the entire review of Barney and Friends of my series, Barney's Anniversary Month. Next time, the Barney home videos from 1992 until 2010. I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let me know what are your thoughts on season 14 and the entire series as a whole, and what are the lessons that Barney taught. This is Dre Edwards, and I'll see you next time. I love you, Barney, and I always will. Whew, what a day. Whew. I can't wait to get to the home videos next.